When I share my story, it's about more than solving the mysteries of our solar system. I represent the curious spirit of the nation, the Choctaw Nation. I am our past. I am our present. I am our future. I am all of us. When we share, we become one because our stories make us more. Stories keep our culture alive. See them and share them at togetherwe'remore.com.
People don't know what it is to be champions. Oklahoma invented it.
Welcome to Through the Keyhole, an Oklahoma football podcast. I am your host this week, Payton Guthrie. You can tell because I use the full catchphrase, which Brady never does. But Brady's not here, so we're going to do this a little bit of like some drive time radio. We have an hour of power coming to you from the good state of Oklahoma, as well as a satellite listener, Alan Kinney from the East Coast. But let's jump into that. Alan, man, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How about you guys?
I'm doing pretty good, to be honest with you. I mentioned earlier, a lot of productive meetings over at the great Choctaw Nation, Oklahoma, as is our title sponsor. Check out their stories on togetherormore.com as the Choctaw Nation highlights individual tribal members, their inspirational stories, and how they impact their community. And then following on to the next ad read, Matt, what's going on, Matt?
How we doing, fellas? Doing all right. I'm feeling well rested and a little rejuvenated from the bye week, man. I'm feeling great.
Well, Matt, as we always know, is a hat wearer, just like me. Except, I mean, you can't see him right now; he's not wearing a hat. But usually, Matt, on the logo and everything, he's got the hat. It's got everything going on. If you want to check out a new hat, one which I ordered myself, go check out the new home field corduroy hats. They've got a really, really great Oklahoma one with like a really, really bespoke Oklahoma script font, which I'd never seen before, but apparently they used it in the 50s, I believe. Go check that out. It's a white hat with a red Oklahoma on there. I actually bought it myself. We'll post some pictures of that once I get it. And I don't know, have a good time with it. The rest of our sponsors here, Kaizen Performance. That's me right now. I weigh about 215, don't like it. I was about 190 a year ago. Life, stress, cortisol, the whole thing. Working on that. Apparently running 100 miles doesn't really help with the stress level, I guess. Doesn't help that part of it out. But go check out Kaizen Performance if you want to shave off some stuff. We're about to, it's not fall yet, but that means we're really close to the winter arc. The revenge tour is about to happen on that side of it. And if, it's not going to happen for you, go check out the Spirit Shop.
If it doesn't work out, man, you got a place to go drown it.
Go check it out. Spirit Shop over in Norman. If it's real bad, they deliver. You don't even have to go. You can just call it in and they'll bring it over there. But check us out. Please do this for this hour of power, this power hour. Go leave us some ratings, some 5-star reviews over on Apple and Spotify. As I've learned from listening to Solid Verbal, if you've left one on Apple before and it was a long time ago and you hated us, but now you do like us, you can delete that review and put a new review on there. That'd be great on that side of it. And also leave us some comments on Spotify. I know Brady likes messaging or commenting back on those. It's a fun time for him. Last one, Chance, this is for you, buddy. This is for you, Chance. This is for you. Chance of Priority Pest and Mosquito Solutions. This is a special shout out for you. So I hope you have a good time when you're offering the mosquitoes the final solution. We're making pests a priority. No, sorry. We're taking care of them. Don't worry on that side of it. But Chance, thanks for taking care of Brady over there, and also a big shout out to you taking care of the mosquitoes when the I don't know what do they carry? West Nile, some other stuff. Mosquitoes are bad. Get rid of them. Let's jump into it. We want to jump into this. We want to talk about Oklahoma football. Why else are you here? John Mateer injury update. Today, Brent Venables on his press conference, I believe it was today, talked about how he may set some records for the fastest healing human being in history. Matt, I mean, you're over there, you're kind of in the ecosystem much more than Alan and I am. How tongue-in-cheek was that? Is he playing with us a little bit about how quickly he can come back, or do you think there's some positive buzz around John Mateer and the thumb injury?
Yeah, I heard that he had like Wolverine genetics or something like that. I don't
Nice.
know. They Dr. Shin put in a vibranium thumb for him as well out of Wakanda. So a lot of things going on there, but no, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it was a little tongue in cheek. We're not going to know until an hour before kickoff. Maybe even then of the Texas game if John Mateer is going to play at least publicly. We're not going to know that info. So yeah, no, I don't know, man. I know that's all everyone is concerned about. I would say that, I mean, just as like a competitor, like not, I haven't heard anything. You guys know that I've not heard anything about it, but just as a competitor, if it feels like to me, if he's anywhere close, that dude's gonna give it a go. Like, I mean, if he's anywhere close, like if he can grip a football and throw it, he's gonna be like, all right, I'm going, man. I came to OU, for to play in a bigger stage and to play in this game specifically. Like I'm gonna try my ass off to play in this game. So that's kind of where my mind is at. So we'll see.
Have you seen the picture of him on Twitter with like a Band-Aid? And that's it.
I have not. I have not seen that, but that is again, if it's just a band-aid, I don't know. Like I feel like he's gonna play. Like at least try to.
Yeah, there's a picture on Twitter. I don't know the actual metadata of it. See if it's like a recent or old picture. He's holding a plastic. He's holding like a water bottle, and he has like a flesh colored Band-Aid all over where the incision would be, like very very small on that side of it. And he's like gripping a water bottle. So hey, there we go.
I did
Checkmate.
think it was
Checkmate.
very funny. It was Thunder Media Day yesterday, and Jalen Williams, J Dub, had his wrist surgery from Dr. Shin. And like he throughout the whole, like not just in the press conference setting, but like scrums and everything else like that, he probably answered like three different questions about Dr. Shin and everything. People being like, hey, Oklahoma's quarterback just got a thing. And he was like, yeah, he was like, Dr. Shin's really good. He was like, I hope the football player is good too. But he's like, all I know is that Dr. Shin is like the real deal. So it was just fun having a little Thunder OU overlap.
And if for some reason there's any Thunder fans listening to us, go on ESPN, go search Baxter Holmes. He wrote a really nice article about the healing of Oklahoma through the Thunder. I think it was published today or yesterday. He was sharing it on his social. He's a Choctaw member. We're telling his story over on Together More later this year. But Baxter Holmes, out there in LA, senior investigative writer for ESPN. It's got a cool story about the Thunder. But I do think it's kind of funny. Like everyone's like, oh, the Thunder, now it's a Thunder State. And it's like, oh, it just takes OU to be owned 4-0 to completely like Thunder who, OU, Mateer, ask those type of questions. Alan, this is a new side to Oklahoma fan base I haven't seen in quite a while, or maybe ever. And maybe this kind of was instigated Lincoln Riley leaving and a bunch of people jumping on Twitter to kind of figure out all the last stuff. But now you have all this Shin memes and comments, and even we ourselves doing it. What do you make of this? Is it just good fashion fun, or are we is it going a little too much into it? We're getting a little creepy. I mean, what's your overall pulse check of the Dr. Shin?
I don't know. I mean, the idea of celebrating, I don't know. I find a lot of it funny, man. Like in all honesty, I mean, it's just fans being fans. I mean, creepy. No, I don't think so, man. It's just people having fun.
If he ends up making the football intro video, that might be a bridge too far, in my opinion. But it's fun times on that one. I do want to get into a potentially heated conversation with three people who all think the same way. So maybe it won't be that heated. And it's, can Mike hawk it? Will Michael Hawkins Jr. be able to sustain or bridge the gap from John Mateer's absence? I think last week we talked about it, how we didn't think it'd be too big of a deal for Oklahoma. Its strength is in its defense from that side, and the offense has basically been converting big third downs and scoring late in fourth quarters to win games. So it's not necessarily like it's been an extremely efficient offense. It's just been remarkably better than it was last year. Alan, you've kind of got some stuff in your head, kind of going back and forth, and when you're not trying to bully entire Discord chats, what's your thought on John Mateer and what he can bring to the table that maybe a 75% Mateer wouldn't be able to.
You mean Hawkins? What Hawkins can bring to the
Hawkins, yeah,
table?
what Hawkins can
Yeah,
bring to the table.
I
Yeah,
mean, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of I don't really know how to put this because it seems like people get pretty riled up when I say it, but I mean, we kind of need to slow down with Mateer here. Like, there's some parts of me. I mean, like Brady was saying, last week. I think. I mean, the first half against Auburn really wasn't very good, and let's not forget. I mean, it took OU running a deceptive play to get a wide open touchdown pass there in the first half. I mean, I I don't know. I look at what we saw out of Mike Hawkins last year, and there was a lot of it that was bad. I would be the first to admit that. But man, I mean, the explosiveness that he has as a runner, um, and I mean, I'm also kind of shocked that people think such a poor thrower. I didn't see. I don't know. I didn't see as much of that. And I mean, he also shows, a willingness to throw the ball some loft down the field and give his receivers down the field a chance to catch it. I mean, I haven't been overwhelmed by how well, um, you know, Mateer is throwing those routes. So, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't, I think, the way I kind of put it is if you got 75% percent Mateer, I don't see a huge difference. I don't think the drop off is that significant between the two. And I guess maybe I'm just seeing not maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. I mean, but I mean I'd love to hear the arguments otherwise.
maybe you're just being a massive hater. You ever think about
I mean, yeah, no, very well. I mean,
that?
hey, look, I mean, the 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 kind of hard part to parse out here, right, is college football right now. I mean, the quarterbacking in general doesn't seem particularly good. I mean, we had kind of a golden age, not just at Oklahoma, but really across the sport. When you think about like how well guys like Joe Burrow played, right? And you don't see anybody like that right now. Um, I guess I can understand if it seems like I'm being unfair to Mateer if if it seems like I'm kind of too caught up in that era. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think he's missed some stuff. I think he's missed some reads. All quarterbacks are going to do that, but I mean, has he been that overwhelmingly good that OU can't get by for a couple of weeks without him? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think the thing that for me that I think Oklahoma could survive through Texas, right? Let's just say what we thought would be the rosiest outcome when this first was announced. We thought the rosiest outcome was John Mateer coming back from South Carolina, right?
Hmm.
And now we're all like, well, hey, Kent State's right around the corner.
Yeah.
How quickly we've gone from all right 2 to 3 weeks to 5 days. So on that side of it, I think Oklahoma could survive a Kent State and survive a Texas game down in Dallas as much as we've seen Texas play, right? We know what Oklahoma's going to bring to the table on the defensive side, defensive line. I think there's a stat I saw. I think maybe I have it bookmarked. It's something like Oklahoma is the number one or number two in the nation in causing havoc rates while not blitzing, something like that, where it's so much of the work now for Oklahoma is just getting done on the defensive line, which
Hmm.
really opens up Brent to be able to bring the zone stuff, be able to do umbrella coverages, to be able to kind of really, really hamper a quarterback like Arch in, let's just roll over Kent State, but, like an Arch was. And, there was some talk of, that Ohio State game being like, well, they played three safeties. What is Arch going to do? It's like, I don't know,
Hmm.
maybe hit somebody in the flat.
Yeah.
So I mean, it does seem like Oklahoma would be able to replicate a defensive structure in that side of it because that's the strength of the team. Now, what Ben Arbuckle's been asking John Mateer to do isn't overly complicated, in my personal opinion. It's we're going to run the football with you, which Hawkins can do that,
Hmm.
potentially do it better, right? and we're going to hit guys in flat, and everyone's while hit, throwing up the pipe on the seam. That doesn't seem like you need to be a first round NFL quarterback to be able to operate in this offensive structure that Ben Arbuckle's put in place for the Oklahoma Sooners. And that's where I am on that side of it. Does this mean that, if Oklahoma goes 2-0 with Hawkins, I think, I don't know. You got was it Polly Whipped or
Wally Pipped?
We got Wally Pipped. Yeah, it's like a new starting quarterback. I don't think that's the case in any way, shape, or form. I think Oklahoma has finally built out a team strong enough to be able to withstand an injury. They haven't been able to do that. Matt, I want to ask you now, is this where, because Alan and I were on the Discord and we just got roasted. But is this not just, all right, Ben, let's see what you got? I mean, you're getting paid a lot of money, Brent Venables, you're getting paid a lot of money if your job on the line, and you didn't go get a second quarterback, you kept this guy. Is this not just more like, let's see what the coaching staff can put together, in a week and a half to get him ready for Kent State and for Texas?
Are you ready for the new era of sports in Oklahoma? Want to be ready for some real Southern football? Kaizen Performance in Norman, Oklahoma is your spot for physical and mental growth. By empowering a lifestyle of constant, continuous improvement, Kaizen Performance's gym experience lends itself from the experienced training fanatics to those who want to make a positive change in their lives and everyone in between. Come see their new location at 158 Armstrong Court in Norman, Oklahoma. With experienced trainers who understand that every client has individual desires and needs, in-person and online customized training programs and nutrition plans, Kaizen Performance has everything to offer for you to meet your goals. Again, their new location is 158 Armstrong Court, Norman, Oklahoma, 73071. Seriously, Brady works out there, and so does Payton when he comes to home games. Come work out with us and get ready for the week-to-week grind of real Southern football. Kaizen Performance, Norman's own local gym where your goals are a workout away. Yeah, whenever you guys were talking about that, I went back and looked in the Discord too. So I went back and had to look and see what you guys were getting up to.
Yeah, it was 100 versus 2.
Yeah, it was.
Three.
Yes.
Actually three. Red Dirt Sport was on our side.
Yeah. I didn't jump in, so sorry guys. I was watching you guys get beat to a pulp there, so I'm sorry. That's my bad. Says a lot about me, I guess. Sorry. But no. I think heading and I'm not going to stand for your Whit Neubauer erasure, Payton. Okay, they win.
Sorry.
Yeah.
This is Whit Neubauer erasure here. No, I'm really excited actually to see what Michael Hawkins looked like. I kind of wish this was against Temple or Illinois State, somebody at least a little bit better than Kent State, because Kent State's just god awful. But at the same time, right? I mean, maybe it's good to see a few layups go through, right? see the, use the basketball term, see if you go through the hoop, right? Mm-hmm. Get some easy completions, get some, work the seams like you were talking about, Payton. But, man, I don't know. I think this is a good audition for Michael Hawkins. And not only that, but for the coaching staff as well. Let's say he does have to play 2 games. He has to play the Texas game as well. It's going to be good for the coaching staff to be like, all right, maybe we need to move on from Michael Hawkins, get a transfer portal quarterback. Or on the flip side, he shows you enough and you're like, all right, I think we're good to not go to the portal and go get a quarterback. We'll ride with Michael Hawkins next year and the year after, however long he has in college football. But for me, this feels like a really good opportunity for Michael Hawkins. Kent State is dog water. So go out, beat the brakes off of them, look good doing it, get yourself some confidence back, which I feel like is really important for Michael Hawkins right now too, especially with the way his last game ended. And really just last season in general. So I don't know. I don't think I want to see Kent State or him run a lot against Kent State, especially designed QB runs, all that stuff. Feel like OU's in a spot where they need to try to figure out and get something going with the traditional running game at some point. But for Michael Hawkins, I want to see him like air it out, man. I want to see him like and see what he's got. I really don't feel like. I mean, unless Hawkins turns it over 5 times or 6 times, I don't think that OU's in any danger of winning this or losing this game. Excuse me. So let him air it out, right? Let him read through progressions. Like Mateer's going to be there too. I feel like it's different coming from a player who's been in the system to being like, hey, this is what I'm looking at on this play. This is where my eyes go here, here, here. My progressions here. I feel like it's different coming from Mateer than it is from like Arbuckle or Kusieski. So I think that'll be good for Hawkins as well. But I don't know, man. I'm just high on Michael Hawkins and his physical tools and some of the things that he showed last year in just maybe the worst situation a quarterback could ever be in last year. So I don't know. I know I rambled there a little bit, but I'm a little bit higher on Michael Hawkins.
No, I mean, you got me right into that next point is, what can Kent State tell us about this offense, and about Ben Arbuckle on that side of it. I think you're right. I think you need to see, I would like to see Michael Hawkins Jr. air it out. Especially if you're getting Giovanni Gibson back, especially that means you have full healthy wide receiver core. I think you have to show Texas again, if John Mateer's sitting on the bench because his thumb isn't quite healed. You need to show Texas that Oklahoma can throw the football, that Hawkins can throw the football, or else they're just going to put 9 in the box. And it's just going to make it hell on earth for this offensive line, which hasn't already been a plus in the run blocking game. I think you need to go out there, establish a passing game, establish a rhythm, and put some respect into Texas pregame on that side of it. And it does feel weird to talk about Kent State in a game as basically a practice for Texas, like a public practice, public scrimmage. But I don't want to overshadow it. If Oklahoma is in a tight game against Kent State, then I think it truly is. We all need to, spirit bomb, give our energy to John Mateer immediately at that side of it. But I mean, Alan, from that, let's not skip ahead. We still have the game at Kent State. What do you want to see out of this offense, and what do you want to see out of Ben Arbuckle as now he has to coach a game without the starting quarterback, in which he brought with him, to Norman in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I think that if Mateer was healthy, you had your full kind of complement of dudes out there. I mean, I think that you're looking at really wanting to put some stuff on film in the run game, right? I mean, in terms of the not the quarterback run game, the organic, the traditional run game, right? That's what I would want to see. That kind of changes now with Hawkins out there. I mean, I think that I guess you want to be able to see, how is it? What does Arbuckle think matches, in terms of what are his strengths as a quarterback, Hawkins that is, versus, what they have in the playbook, what they've been running, or, kind of what what they haven't run, but they have at their disposal. And so we'll see. You also want to see if, I mean, Hawkins, similar to Jackson Arnold last year, I wouldn't say that he had as much of a problem with like necessarily holding on the ball or being afraid to throw it so much as it looked like he was kind of coached as almost like a one read type thing, like you don't see it, you go. So if there is, an opportunity to let him work through some progressions or stuff like that, I mean, see if Arbuckle asks him to do that.
And especially last year, the one read and go thing. I mean, the offensive line wasn't healthy enough to sustain a multiple read passing game.
Yeah.
And you only had, at that point in time, before he got injured, one wide receiver in Burks before he was injured, who was probably the read.
Yeah.
And if that didn't happen, you're asking you to go because the clock's up on that side of it. This is so very interesting because you've got people coming back, offense and defense. Giovanni Gibson, Eli Bowen, I believe, is coming back as well. Or reportedly will suit up for the game, right? Maybe they hold them out one more time because it's, again, like a live scrimmage. And now we have, unprompted, I believe, I think unprompted, I can't quite remember, proof of life from Jaden Knott, potentially on that side of it. So it looks like you've got an offense who may have finally its full complement of skill positions, minus the quarterback. And then you have a quarterback like Michael Hawkins Jr., who has won SEC games, does have SEC football experience, now being surrounded by a much, much, much better skill position core, as well as not great, but much better offensive line on that side of it. But Matt, I do want to ask you that question. Is this the last time we talk about Jaden Knott if he doesn't do anything in Kent State?
I hope so.
Okay.
I'm just I full believe it when I see it mode. Man, there's a lot of chatter. I mean, I think both I don't know if Brent was, but Ben Arbuckle was definitely asked about Jaden Ott today, and I like, oh boy, guys, just you're gonna have to sell me more on the Jaden Ott stock. I'm not buying the dip right now. I know a lot of people are, but I'd be happy to be surprised.
Alan, does it? Okay, I want to ask you a two-parter, and I'll do my best to phrase it. One, does the Jaden Knott stuff matter? Right? Does him playing matter? And two, is the media obsession over him because it's harder to is the media obsession over Jaden Knott easier to explain because it's easier to point to a running back than it is to a systematic blocking issue on the offensive line?
Okay, well, what was the first one?
Does it matter?
Does it matter?
You got Tory, but
Yeah.
you got Blaylock, you got
Look, I
X, you
mean,
got
like,
other guys.
I mean, I think if you get fully engaged, ready to go, Jade Knott, that's a huge plus. I mean, look at what he, just looking at how he played 2 years ago. The But it's one of those things where, especially being on the outside, we think of it as, oh, well, it's easy. You just show up and play. And I don't know. I mean, or it should be simple, and I don't know what has made it so not simple, so complex. Um, in terms of the media obsession, is like, I mean, are you asking is the problem, were they saying that Jade Knott would fix the running game at full go or something, or?
I, I think it's being framed as like, look how shifty he is. Look how much he can move in and out. Like, look at the top of him, right? He can get to the outside. You can give him a swing pass. He can do some stuff in some. It's not like Cal had, all world offensive
Mhm.
lines.
Yeah.
He's still able to make hay and do stuff. If you get him, he quote unquote fixes the running game. He doesn't fix the running blocking, but obviously he can gain more rushing yards or whatever. And that, end of the day, that's what I guess matters. But it's easier to point to him and say, well, if he were playing, oh, you'd be running the ball better. That's easier to explain than these five guys aren't blocking right. It's hard to explain
I
that.
mean, I guess so. I mean, my take on the media fixation with him is just, again, we saw what he did 2 years ago, and this was a big free agent signing for OU, right? I mean, I have no idea how much money he's making in NIL, but I'm sure that he, got a nice deal to come to OU, and he's been a non-factor, and it's not even clear if he's, why. Um, so I mean, to me, it's a mystery at this point, um, like whenever though we get to these situations like this, it's kind of like, I mean, I don't believe that coaches are making decisions with the intention of losing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
for sure.
mean, the idea that Ott would be this immediate fix and he's just not doing something that the coaches want to see. I don't buy it. Like I mean, especially in a year when Brent Venables is his, job has been on the line. Um, you know, he's not going to you just can't let that kind of opportunity slide if you think that there's just a difference of personalities or something like that. So I mean, I don't know, but, um, I mean, I don't. I if you're not getting if you're not getting 100% odd, I don't think I don't see why that's supposed to be a good fix. Or if you're not getting Ott who's ready, all in, um what are you really getting? I don't know.
I mean, you can look at his 2023 highlights and you see him, especially this North Texas game. He's like juking two dudes before the line of scrimmage and then breaking off 50 yards. It's like, you can in your mind's eye go, oh, he could be doing that right now.
Yeah.
I think for a fan or just for myself, right? You can look at that and think, well, this is what we're missing out on. This is what, if this starts happening, now the safeties back off or whatever. And then now all of a sudden, now you're seeing single high instead of too high. And now John Mateer can hit the outside shot a little bit better. I mean, OU is multiple steps away from being a very efficient offense. And part of that is the running game. Part of that is needing a true outside wide receiver, and I think we are thinking because we are so scared of our own shadow from 2024 on the offensive side that it's very difficult for fans. And again, I'll toss myself in there for Peyton Guthrie, for Like Woody, for Peyton Glenn on Twitter. Please, tell me how stupid I am or how right I am. Hopefully, it's hard to say this is a pretty good offense. You want to say this is a great offense, right? You want it to be a snapback. I can immediately we were terrible, but now we're back to where we were, top 10 offense. No one's going to beat us, on that side of it. It does seem like this incremental change. Like what's OU right now? On SP Plus with top 20 offense, top 25, something like
here.
that.
They are OU's offense is 31.
31. So a top 35 offense. And I remember speaking in the offseason before this started, and Alan, I think you echoed a lot of this. You needed Oklahoma to be around where it is. You needed John Mateer to be a regular college football quarterback. You didn't need him to be a Heisman winner. You didn't need him to be the front runner after week 4. You just needed him to hand the ball off, hit the open receiver, and now Oklahoma's going to be ahead of stuff. Now, for Oklahoma to have, I would say this is worse. For Oklahoma to have a week 4 Heisman front running quarterback and still only be 31, that probably speaks more to a larger systematic issue or just a talent issue or developmental issue. Again, we're 4 weeks into Ben Arbuckle being the offense coordinator for Oklahoma, than it does for look how great John Mateer is. John Mateer has played in the Michigan game and an Auburn game, which he made a couple big plays in each of those games to win those games.
Right.
That's that hype award you're talking about. That's that vibe award that the Heisman Trophy kind of is right now. Because everyone will always say, you'll see all the stats, you'll see all the stats, you'll see all the stats. And they'll say, but what was his Heisman moment? Now, that's been a thing forever. The Heisman moment's been a thing since I've been watching college football. So the Heisman Award has always been a hype award, has always been a vibe award, for lack of a better term, on that side of it. So that's kind of where I am, wanting to see something from Ott, wanting to see something from John Gibson, wanting to see something out of Mateer, or more out of Mateer or anything out of Michael Hawkins Jr., is to say Oklahoma made a good hire. Oklahoma made a good hire systematically, structurally, scheme-wise, play-calling-wise with Ben Arbuckle. Because I can guarantee you that if everyone had just gotten healthy, Oklahoma wouldn't have had the worst offense last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just kind of how that is. So I think there's a fear of, is this all it is? Is it just people have gotten healthy, or is there more to it? We just haven't seen it yet. I do think that's something that we want to struggle with because, Oklahoma, 6-7 last year, but they should have won, potentially could have won 9 games last year if 2 things had changed. If you go through the whole Lincoln Riley thing, we're 2 plays away from 9-0 or whatever on that side of it. And I think that's a struggle for me as a fan. Obviously, it's a struggle for a lot of people in fandom on that side of it. Anything you want to add on to that before I jump to the next thing?
No, let's move on.
1985 National Championship, Barry Switzer. They're going to be in the stadium. Oklahoma's going to be celebrating that team by wearing a uniform none of them ever wore, which always it's funny to me. But what's this? A 40-year anniversary of the '85 team. Is it? I just wrote that down. I think it's cool. I think it's cool when teams can do stuff like that and they bring back and they welcome these teams and they go on that side of it. does any of us have any like this is 3 years where I was born,
Mm.
but I've seen the highlights and I've watched that Penn State game and stuff like that. Uh, the tight end Jackson, winning that game on that side of it. Alan, as you look through the history of Oklahoma football and kind of like cut some tape, cut your teeth on the Oklahoma fandom. That's the before 2000, that was it. It
Mhm.
was everyone kept looking back to 85. How much of that when you're a Oklahoma fan, before Bob Stoops stuff like that, was it always like, man, was the dad or the uncle like, man, that 85 team? Was it whispers like that?
I mean, in a lot of ways, yeah, right? Like you look back at that season and things, for an example of how much things have changed in college football. I mean, let's look at the schedule. So OU had the non-conference included Minnesota, Texas, Miami, and SMU. Right now, Minnesota, whatever, but like Texas, Miami, SMU, that's nothing to sneeze at, And I mean, OU, of course, lost to Miami. I believe that was the game where Troy Aikman broke his leg. Um, but I think that what kind of stands out about that season to me in my hazy recollection of it, would be, I mean, one, the defense. Switzer's defense is like he's known for the wishbone, right, and that that kind of innovation, but the defenses OU had were always just nasty. I mean, especially like just killer defensive linemen, just the whole thing. But, seeing OU pivot to a freshman quarterback there who led them the whole rest of the way in Jamel Holloway, like that really hadn't been done before, to my recollection. And I mean, he kind of became a huge sensation. It was just kind of a cool, that part of it was such a cool story.
Texas being week 3.
Yeah.
Seems kind of, I mean, different times, I guess, at that point in time. But you're right. I mean, Oklahoma, only 4 teams scored double digits. Only one team scored more than 20. That was that Miami game. And obviously, from 85 to 88, Oklahoma would go 30 in the regular season, would go 33-3 with 3 losses to Miami, Florida. Uh,
Hmm.
being that real thorn in the side as the sport was changing on that side of it. I mean, to me, this is like the last. What Penn State won 86, didn't they? Or had they won in
Penn
84
State won the next year, I
next
think.
year?
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's see. Penn State, because then Miami won, I believe the year after that in
Correct.
87. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because they beat Oklahoma in that 87 game. Um, if I have that right.
Hmm.
Um, so it didn't necessarily put the death knell in the wishbone, but it did show the cracks
Hmm.
on that side of it. Obviously, the top of the wishbone wouldn't be seen until Nebraska in 95. Uh, just
Yeah, I mean,
dominate everybody, but that was like the last bit of it.
right. I mean, Miami was just doing stuff though that back then. I mean, Jimmy Johnson was just a phenomenal coach. I mean, they really kind of spun things forward by, putting faster guys out on defense, emphasizing kind of speed over size. And it definitely gave OU's running game some problems.
For sure, for sure, for sure. Uh, Matthew, Matt, are you
Yeah.
excited? You excited to get to see these guys now?
Of course, man.
Them willing them back out one
Of
more time.
course. Yeah, of course, man. I'm just looking at the roster, man, and it's just like, I mean, obviously Troy Aikman, but then he gets hurt. Jamel Holloway, total stud. Lydell Carr, like Spencer Tillman, Keith Jackson, Derek Shepard. Like, I mean, that's just the offense. Then, of course, you have Tony Casillas, Brian Bosworth, Steve Bryan. Like, I mean, there's like
Yeah.
just this a star-studded cast there on the 85 team. Like, man, I'm just excited to see the crowd pop when Switzer's out there, right? Because he's always, I mean, the cheers will always come for the king. I told the story earlier today when we were talking about this, But back when OU softball was playing at Marita Hines, not at Love's Field now, the franchise, we used to set up the games in the left field, like out just outside of left field, called Home Run Village or whatever. They had a big TV projector that would play the game, and then we would play our broadcast with Chris Plank like calling the game. So I went and set that up, and it was the game against Clemson, where Kenzie Hansen's down to the last strike. She hits a home run to send it to extra innings to keep the whatever 60-game winning streak alive. And I'm watching the game. It's the middle of the game, probably like fourth inning, whatever. I'm got my back turned to the crowd watching the game, and all of a sudden I just hear like just a raucous crowd pop. I'm like, what? Like, what happened? Nothing's going on. Like, they're like in between innings. What's going on? Turn behind me, and like 10 feet from me is Barry Switzer walking, waving. And it's just like the crowd is going nuts outside of Marita Hines. It's just Barry Switzer just walking, and the crowd's going crazy. So, I mean, that just the kind of star power that he has, man. Just what a guy, what a character. I can't wait to see what the reception is going to be like at halftime.
And then I guess I'm gonna talk about this, the throwback unis. And again, I made a very facetious statement, but this is something as a card carrying member of the Uni Watch Society, I'm big time on sports uniforms. I don't know why. My mom took one, maybe two Tylenol. This is how it manifested in me. It's about sports uniforms. Go check them out, uniwatch.com. It's a daily blog, and every single day they have a new thing about the aesthetic study of sport, and I think it's very, very interesting. But the throwback uniforms, here's my gripe. Same gripe as last year. They didn't do the pants. All right. The pants are supposed to have little bitty thin stripes to make it right. They didn't do it. They keep the same pants. Pisses me off. That's it. That's my general disgust of them. I know alternate uniforms and stuff like that either get the ire of Oklahoma fans or college football fans in general, right? Yeah, we're the blue blood. We shouldn't be like Oregon. We should be more like Alabama or whatever, right? What's the general thought on the throwback uniforms for you guys?
Oh man, I got to be honest. I'm just not that into the uniform thing. You know what I mean? Like, it goes right over my head.
You're not keeping track of like the wins and losses and which uniforms they wear.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. I mean, I can tell you the ones that I definitely see some that I don't like. But it's just, nah, man. I don't know. Roll out there and play, man.
Yeah, no, there's an article on there I was sharing where Michigan apparently was wearing like two-toned yellow pants, maize pants for a while, and stuff like that. It's just very, very interesting to see how the fabric of everything used to change and all that type of stuff. But Matt, the throwback uniforms, they're just alternative uniforms in general. Where do you stand on them? Well, did they grind your gears?
No. I like a good alternate uni, except for that one Michigan State year where they had lime green, like state. It just said state across in big letters in lime green. Those were god awful. But I like these OU ones. I like these sort of throwback OU ones. I did see someone, and it kind of, when you think one thing and then you hear something from a different perspective. I wish a lot of us could do that. And it just really like changes your perspective. Someone did say they look like Crimson Penn State, and I was like, shit, yeah, they kind of do. They kind of do look like Crimson Penn State. Don't know if I'd be a fan of a full-time change, but for one game a year, hell, why not? Let's do it.
They look exactly like Alabama did in I think the 50s as well. Alabama wore a white helmet for a little bit with the red crimson stripes. So it's like literally the exact same uniform.
Yeah. Alabama in the 1950s, there were a lot of white hats there.
Yeah, yes. With the fire. Let's see if we can get that clipped and sent to some Alabama podcast. I think it's just really interesting. I think it's cool. I really wish Oklahoma. I know you can't do it because you signed a deal and you have to wear. You kind of have to wear them for a couple of years to get the money out of it. But if they knew they were going to do the 85 team, it would have been cool to see the 85 uniforms, like the fake mesh that some teams have done and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, give it to me.
Okay. I know I said I don't care. If they had done something like that, that would have been cool.
It's like, never mind, change my mind. That would have been awesome on that side. Like maybe they come out in the fake in like some like big shoulder pads or something, but they kind of get going. Let's start rattling and rolling for our Kent State score predictions. I'll start off with myself to kind of get you guys primed up here. I have Oklahoma. Alan, you can let me know if they cover on this score. I have them 47-3.
That would be a Kent State cover, I believe. I think the line right now is at 45 and a half.
Sounds good to me. Alan, what is your Kent State? The much ballyhooed Kent State. They played Buffalo tough last week.
Yeah,
What's your
that's true.
score prediction?
Yeah, I have a hard time seeing Kent State scoring unless it's a defensive score or something like that. So I'm sticking with what I said last week, 42-0.
42-0. Wow, man. Oh, so you're saying 42-0 because John Mateer is not going to turn the ball over on our own 20 this year. He's not playing.
Yeah. Thank
Okay,
God
check,
he's
check,
out.
check. Matt, what's that Kent State prediction from you?
Yeah, I think last week I had it like 35-0. I'll go up a little bit. 38-0 OU.
38-0. Man,
I feel
none
like
of
it'll be
us
a
have
quick
Oklahoma
game.
covering. That's
Yeah.
wild.
I feel
We're
like
saying
it'll be
take
a
the points.
kind of a quicker game. Hopefully, at least I feel like I'm trying to speak that into existence. I would like this game to be over quickly.
Let's jump into the wider world of college football. Oh, by the way, that score prediction was brought to you by the Spirit Shop, which an ad will have either played beforehand or it will play right now.
The Spirit Shop has been Norman's source for wine, beer, and spirits since 1976. We feature the biggest selection and best prices in town. Thousands of different wines, beers, spirits, and more. Live in Norman? We deliver all over town, every day, usually in under an hour. Let us bring the party to you. Go to our website and order online at www.thespiritshop.org or give us a call at 405-321-3100. That's 405-321-3100. In from out of town for the game? Come see us at the corner of Main and Berry, just 2 miles east of I-35. Take the Main Street exit and browse thousands of fine wines and hard-to-find bourbon in store.
But let's get into the wider world of college football, the wider world of college football on that side of it. I guess just who's the front runner? Do we think we have somebody already identified that we think is going to be the one to go, or are we still waiting for someone to separate from the scrum to say, hey, I'm the guy, I'm the team you got to take on? Alan, do you see anybody who's really, really outperforming themselves to the point to where you feel like you can, is there a betting favorite in your book?
Well, I mean, the way that I look at it, I think what I said is like, I feel like there are really 15 to 20 teams, right, that are in very, kind of bunched up together. Like this whole deal about who's the best team or who's number one. There so many, it feels like there are a lot of teams that are very close, right? What the thing was though was watching Alabama on Saturday night with the passing game, the way that they were operating. Ty Simpson seems to be a lot more comfortable. Um, the farther we get away from that opening week, where they lost to Florida State, it feels to me again more and more like they just got ambushed, but with a great offensive game plan from Gus Malzahn, some bad weather, and that that's the team that at the end of the year is going to be really kind of in the best shape, but Ohio State, that was a really good win. Like, I mean, they really just I mean, they really, I mean, they took a few punches, I guess, from Washington, but for the most part, just kind of held them at bay the whole game. I mean, Ryan Day seems to have really kind of embraced this really boring football where, they're winning, 17-7 or 24-6, but I mean, it seems like it's really working, and we aren't necessarily paying the same kind of attention to a quarterback like Julian Sand, but I mean he's been very solid for them so far. Maybe not a star by any stretch, but very solid, very accurate. So those two teams right now are the two that I'm going to be keeping an eye on, kind of same as it ever was.
So just to clarify, the Alabama team, which played the Georgia defense, which is yet to force a sack on the season and should have won the game if Gunnar Stockton could put a little less air on a ball over the middle late in the game.
Yes.
That's okay. Making sure, making sure. No,
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
I think Bama was more uniquely prepared to take on this Georgia defense because this Georgia defense doesn't have any pass rushers somehow,
Mhm.
which allowed that passing game to kind of click in a different way. And even then, did you see the Gunner being asked questions about Mike Bobo at the end of the game?
Oh no, I didn't see it.
So this reporter's like, so what do you think? What was it? He's like, does Bobo have 100% play calling, or do you get a chance to call some plays, or kind of change something at the line? And if so, or if not, what was your thoughts on being in shotgun on that 4th and 1?
Mm.
It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
In Gunner handle it. He's like, he gets paid to coach, I get paid to play. We trust each other 100%. We have to, because you have to, right?
Yeah. I mean,
At that,
yeah.
if it doesn't work. But at the same time, I saw some clips. I was like, damn, if he had said something different and I was Mike, I'd be like, we would have won that game if Gunner could hit that throw.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like
Like,
you
yeah.
can't ask those questions because you put yourself in a bad situation regardless. But I think Alabama has a way. Let's say Oklahoma's defense is going to offer Alabama some issues that Georgia's defense could not bring to them.
Yeah. I mean, probably so. I think that that's fair.
And that's something I, as of 2 years ago, would not think I would be able to say.
Mm.
That Oklahoma's defensive line, I apologize, would be a better unit, or at least a unit more equipped to take on an offense that Alabama brings to the table on that side of it. But Matt, do you think anybody is separated themselves, or have separated themselves, or about to separate themselves?
I don't know like how good Oregon is with what they did against Penn State because I don't know how good Penn State is. Um, so I don't know. Jury's still out on Oregon for me. Their rest of schedule is pretty cakey. To be honest with you, so this was their one sort of like, hey, this is going to be a really tough test, and they sort of passed with flying colors until the end of that fourth quarter. But um, no, man, Alabama was my preseason national title pick. Confidence was shaken week 1. Not gonna lie, out in Tallahassee, confidence was shaken. But I feel like the eulogy was written a little bit too early for them because, like, I mean, even in that game, I know the numbers didn't like pop out, but I thought Ty Simpson did a lot of good things in that Florida State game, too. Now, obviously, there were some moments he wants back, but for his like first big time start, after being behind Jalen Milroe these past few years, like in that environment against a Florida State team that was tired of hearing about how shitty they were all off season. Like, I don't know, there's just a lot of stuff. I thought I was pretty impressed with Ty Simpson, then even more so against Georgia. Also, keep throwing it to Caden Proctor because that was fucking awesome. That was so sweet. But no, I'm on the Alabama train. I don't know what's going on with LSU. Was very high on them to start the year, and goodness gracious, that offense is yikes. But yeah, I'm kind of with Alan. It's kind of Ohio State right now. I mean, I don't know if you guys watched that game too. Maybe the worst fake field goal of all time from Washington.
Terrible.
In that.
Oh my god. And why then? I was just like, what are you doing?
Maybe their kicker's shitty. I don't know. He had hit one just like a drive before. But dude, that was an
bad,
awful,
man.
awful thing. I don't think they were going to win that game, but he had a chance to get 3 more points, and instead he just run the worst fake field goal of all time. So I'm kind of with that. It's Ohio State right now until it's not.
On LSU, we got to think. I mean, Nussmeier's just not right? Like
He can't
he's
throw the
hurt.
football. No.
Yeah, he's hurt. He's got to be.
I've seen some, like, again, we're just like Twitter watching, like Twitter scouting or whatever, like what happened to John Mateer a couple weeks ago. And it's like 2023, 2024, and it shows them both like throwing, or 2024, 2025. And he can't. There's something wrong with the zip, that the ball's not getting downfield the way that was.
He all the stuff in the preseason, I think, is kind of bearing out now. I mean, he's just not right.
Also, man, I was kind of dead wrong about Ole Miss taking a step back, man. They
Yeah, we all kind of were.
I know. I will say, like, I don't know how like good they are, but Trinidad Chambliss is fun. He is just he is under the category of very fun to watch.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, I thought South Carolina would take a step forward, and I thought collectively Tennessee, Ole Miss, and Mizzou would step back. And now I look like a fucking idiot.
I don't know, man.
Uh,
It's like 4 weeks, man.
That's
Like,
true.
yeah,
you
you're
know.
right. You're right. You're right. Yeah. But Mizzou looks extremely efficient, all that. But to give you the guys, the teams who I think separated, I think maybe we are overthinking it, and I understand why we would overthink it. Um, but it's Miami and it's Oregon at this
Oh, I
point in
forgot
time. I
about
think they've
Miami too.
separated themselves.
Golly.
It's hard to look at Miami and think Mario Cristobal. That's a guy I want to trust. But
Yeah.
you beat a good you beat a supposedly good Notre Dame team, number 6 in the nation, or at least at the time of the play. And I don't know where they are now. And then you dog walk the two Florida schools, and now you're about to play FSU. So if depending on how this FSU game goes, uh, it's looking like it's a Miami world, and we're all living in it. At that point in time, unless they trip up somewhere down the line. And then I put a lot of stock in going to Happy Valley, going to Happy Valley, going to a wideout and getting it done. And that's tough to do unless you're ranked one spot ahead Penn State. Then I guess it's an easy thing to do, but it doesn't happen all the time. It was a tough environment, and they got it done on that side of it. So I think those teams, especially the Miami team, I think as of right now, those are kind of complete teams. Dante Moore can throw the football. Miami can run the football and throw the football. I mean, Oklahoma's ranked number 5 right now. You want to cheer for them, obviously. Fucking cheer for them. It's a podcast about them. But they just can't run the football. Like I'm like, okay, if Oklahoma can keep it close and John Mateer can do something crazy in the fourth quarter, but can he do that for 15 games or whatever? Right? I mean, that's the question that comes for Oklahoma if they can't figure out the running game. Miami has that figured out. Oregon has that figured out. For them, it becomes do these coaches, which both have big game issues. Can they, overcome that? And they've just both did it in the exact same, in back-to-back weeks or whatever on that side of it. So to me, that's with a bullet at this point in time, but that can change.
That's a
And then
really good
let's look
call
a
with
little bit
Miami
tighter.
too. Oh, sorry, a really good call with Miami.
Yeah, go for it.
Also, they might have the best offensive and defensive line combo in the
Yeah.
nation. They have
Yeah, I
some
mean,
studs on both the lines of scrimmage.
yeah, I mean, it's Cristobal's thing, right? I mean, he's always trenches.
Yeah. And then like with that, in that Notre Dame game, I mean, they needed to win. They went and did it. I mean, like Beck threw that pass, that wide receiver caught that amazing cat. It's just
Yeah.
I probably put too much stock in the whole like there's a skill to winning, and they played tough teams and they've won. Right? We're looking at Ohio State. We're saying, well, they beat Texas and they beat Washington, and depends on how much you want to rate Texas. And I never really thought Washington was going to be all that good to begin with, and then they have a Michigan game later down the season, which I cannot wait to watch them lose. This will be hilarious. But let's tighten it up a little bit. SEC contenders. We talked. Both of you seem to be on Alabama's jock, so I'm guessing. I'm guessing both of you guys are thinking Alabama for the SEC title, or is there some scheduling quirks or something I'm not looking at?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still favoring Bama right now, but I mean, it's not going to be. Let's see here. They beat Georgia. I don't know. I can't remember who they have left, right? I mean, I don't think they'll have much problem with Auburn.
The Oklahoma Sooners?
Tennessee.
Oklahoma. I mean, you got to think that they're gonna give OU a pretty good shot, with given that it's a revenge game and in Tuscaloosa and everything. I mean, I just think that, especially too, as they start getting more and more healthy, guys like Jam Miller and Tim Keenan coming back. Um,
I can't believe you're
yeah.
just you're glossing over next week's game for Alabama.
Who they have?
The Commodores.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Commodores.
Yeah, no, I'm gladly gonna gloss over that. I feel fine about that.
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, obviously they play Tennessee, they play LSU, they play Auburn, they play Oklahoma. I mean, those are going to be tough games, but I think it's just a degree on how tough.
Mm-hmm.
Right at that point in time, if Nuss isn't right, they could probably take that on. I mean, Auburn would be a messy game, probably. Right? Auburn
Yeah.
seems to know how to bring people into the pit. They
Yeah,
don't seem
right.
how to do anything once they get there on that side of it. Matt, you think it's Alabama so far in this early season SEC title?
So far, unfortunately, yeah. I'm not I don't know if I can fully hop on board the Lane train yet on in Ole Miss, but we'll see. We'll see. I still got Alabama mainly because I was high on them preseason, and sometimes you just can't help but really, really want to be correct. So I'm just gonna hold on to that.
Watching
Yeah,
A&M on Saturday, I kept feeling like, I mean, they got
we did this
called
last
for
year.
so many penalties. But yeah, no, exactly. And it's like, but I'm watching them and like they've really upgraded their receiving core. They've got a solid running back. It seemed like they were running the ball well. I mean, they gave Auburn the blues now. I mean, I think everybody on offense, I think everybody's going to do that, right? But it's just one of those things that was like, you watch them and you understand the theory, but then you also know history, right? And I mean, I just can't get there with A&M despite however strong they look right now.
All right, so both of you have done well with your preseason projections. I had LSU beating Clemson in the national championship, so I don't think that's potentially going to happen here. So it's smart of you guys to ride the horse, which got you here. I'm not going to do that, obviously, because it's LSU. Uh, buddy, let's get ready to start talking to our neighbors and our friends about an Ole Miss SEC championship.
Mm.
Now, if you look at their schedule remaining,
Island
they gotta
time.
get past. They gotta get past Georgia. They gotta get past Oklahoma. Everybody else is looks in. I mean, I guess Mississippi State all of a sudden looks interesting, but there's two maybe games on that schedule remaining that I'm seeing. It's a Georgia and Ole Miss game. I mean, Georgia and Oklahoma game. Other than that, they should beat Washington State. I think they beat South Carolina. I'm pretty sure they're gonna beat Citadel. They should beat Florida, and then there's Mississippi State, the Egg Bowl, at the end of the season. I mean, I think just the schedule itself potentially gives Ole Miss the SEC championship, depending if Texas can navigate its remaining games it has on there. Obviously, I think they basically have the same two toughest games remaining, right? They both have to play Oklahoma, Georgia, and that's basically it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. They
Or well,
basically have
they
the
have
same
A&M.
schedule. A&M, that's right, that's right. So, yeah, get ready. Lane Kiffin, SEC champion, on that side of it. Um, that'd be scary. And then what teams we think need to pack it up? What teams we thought were good that are shut down? I'll let you know. Clemson. Goodbye, Clemson. Let's go
Yeah.
home. See you later, Dabo. Walk out the door.
I
Make sure you're
tried I
coming this year.
tried to tell you guys. I
Yeah.
tried to tell you guys, but
I thought the quarterback would be good.
oh
He had
yeah.
a good
Yeah.
statistical profile, I guess. I
Yeah,
got too
Yeah.
much into
that's
that.
another one that everybody told me was really good. So
Yeah,
We hit
after
on it
week four,
earlier.
he was good.
Hit on it earlier, but South Carolina, yikes, man.
Yeah.
I like Lenore Sellers, but hey, it turns out losing like five studs on your defense to the
Yeah.
NFL, it's not really a good thing. Not really a good thing at all.
Yeah. Well, the South Carolina thing, I thought, okay, they have the quarterback, they have the wide receiver, and they have the defensive end. Like you can build around that. And turns out you can't.
Mhm.
Or at
I mean,
least if
I
you're Shane
think,
Beamer, you can.
I mean, they were like, was their win total like 7.5, like same as OU's, like 7.5, 6.5, somewhere around there? I was like, what am I missing? Like, what's going on
Mhm.
here? And then it's like, oh yeah, they lost the guy that led the league in sacks. They lost a stud
Yeah.
safety, like stud on their defensive tackle, the Tonka Hemingway kid. Like, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, especially, I mean, a program like South Carolina, you're not really
Right.
restocking, like the way it is. Um, you mentioned Georgia and the lack of a pass rush and
Ooh,
whatnot. I mean,
okay.
look,
Nice, nice.
I'm not sure if I'm ready to write them off,
And
but
passing
like
game.
I'm not I'm not like I guess I'm not overwhelmed by them. I feel like they a team that's really really good should have beaten Alabama last week.
Yeah, I think maybe that's something of like, are they a good football team? Right? I mean, that's maybe that's just a bigger thing here. I'm trying to find real quickly. Georgia is 39th in the nation in air yards per attempt at 8.1, tied of Texas. Both of
Mhm.
them are at 8.1. So they're not really getting the ball downfield all that much. Averaging 8 yards per completion on that isn't too great, to be honest with you. And then where do you think Oklahoma sits? Do you think Oklahoma is above 8.1 or below 8.1? Average air yards.
Mm, I if they're above, it's not by much.
Oklahoma's sitting at 51st in the nation at 7.7 average air yard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is a it's it's a West Coast. I mean, it's an air raid offense, baby.
Yeah.
with a lot of QB run game in on there. So let us know who do you think separated from the pack. Let us know on Spotify comments or Apple comments if they do that, or on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere you can find us. Also, let us know who you think is your SEC title contender so far. We have 2 Alabamas and we have a Ole Miss, baby, on that side of it, kind of getting it out there. Lane will fuck it up, don't worry. And then any teams you think just need to pack it up, go home. See you next year on that side of it. But thank you guys for listening. We went a little over an hour 10, so an hour 10 of power getting it done this week, coming out of you guys from the great state of Oklahoma and also from the East Coast on that side. So from all of our sponsors, the Choctaw Nation, Home Field Apparel, go buy their stuff. It's really helpful for us. Obviously, tweet at them. When you do buy something, say, Keyhole, this is awesome, or something like that. Thank you, Kaizen Performance, the Spirit Shop, everyone who's helping us out. Also, thank you so much for the Priority Pest and Mosquito Solutions for, I guess, personally taking care of Brady's mosquitoes and pest problems at his house. Surely his house isn't that bad. But thank you guys for doing that. Thank you, the Patreon, for keeping everything moving over on patreon.com/the Keyhole, best website in the world. And then check us out on the free website, keyholepod.com, where you can hit up some of Alan's blatant homers and columns. If you go to the Patreon, you will get a Oklahoma's best running play breakdown this week. I'll be breaking that down. I've got some more all 22 on a breakdown from the games they played to kind of break down the best running play they've had this year and how that's performing against all the other teams. But for everybody, for always, as we always do it, for myself, for Brady, for Alan, for Matt, Boomer.
Suit up.